Yeah, so the question is, what are the Democrats in Georgia, you know what I'm saying, will vote for Pete Biden in this situation, as we see within this measure. But at the same time, Biden swung through Georgia on Saturday to collect the endorsement of political action and committee representing Black and Latino voters at the Dillon Hands Central State. Another stop at the March of December, the March to the Democratic nomination. You know what I'm saying? But Creep Joe Biden opened a swing at Donald Trump, using Georgia Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene as the bat, nothing how he had kicked off his campaign here in her company, along with that of dictatorial Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban. Yeah, another deep stater probably. He called. Let me stop. You know what I'm saying? He called him a a what? A fantastic leader. You know what I'm saying? Seriously, Biden said he has been sucking up to dictators all over the world. You know what I'm saying? Keep Joe Biden only meaningful. You know what I'm saying? He is, in other words, you know what I'm saying? We know that already. You know what I'm saying? In many ways, we know that already. So he's not fooling anyone with a lot of the shit, because this is how they were able to criminally, you know what I'm saying, fuck up the world with the bullshit, using NATO as a whole in this matter. So there is no way for him to say what was said in Georgia for the nomination. You know what I'm saying? And no preference. But Biden is likely to clinch the nomination because we have a bunch of jackass on planet Earth, you know what I'm saying, who have not done any research with this man, who have not done any research based on anything to do with the man in general, in any shape or form. So if he claims any type of nomination is due to people not understanding what's going on at this present time on their neck, that can come out to be this way. I'm not going to accept the fact that he is doing such a thing in itself. You see what I'm saying? I'm not going to accept that in any way, because a lot of people have to come to the realization that we have to do something about the different candidates that we're putting in office. More young people needs to be on the scene, and more younger leaders need to emerge. You know what I'm saying? We cannot keep following the old shitty rhetoric of these Luciferian individuals who have been killing and murdering people across the planet Earth for a very long time in the name of the United States. Because when you say that, you're talking about all of us. So what nomination he clinched is because of a bunch of jackass who think there is something there when there is not. You know what I'm saying? So he clinched the primary, you know what I'm saying, on Tuesday, but in the state voting on the 19th of November, nonetheless, you know what I'm saying, the pivot to the general election has already begun. He's building momentum. Listen to this, he's building momentum from the Thursday speech. What speech? You know what I'm saying? Which was a grand slam home run. What home run? Nuclear weapons being bombed in your motherfucking land and dropping you and incinerating your body in seconds? Maybe. You know what I'm saying? But he's talking about he hit a grand slam home run, said David Brad. You know what I'm saying? A demon Democratic operative and Atlantic political figure. Republican or in in pure panic. No, we're not. As Republicans, we should hold our calm and our cool and make sure that we understand what's going on and strike as such. They can attack him on issues, so they, in his stupid ass word, who wants to attack him anyway? What are you talking about? This is not an attack. This is about getting our country right. You know what I'm saying? When we look at the situation, making up laws, lunacy or whatever, making up lunacy about him being, you know, on Red Bull or something that they're they're that's their something, I guess, saying he's on Red Bull in order because of his age and so forth. That their best, that's their best attack because he drinks a Red Bull. You know, you sitting up here using choice of words and you up here word playing in order to make him look good in the first place. But the fuck up this that he have already done don't come from here and now. It comes from way back to his whole career all the way up to now. So whether he drink Red Bull or not, he still fuck up and bloody the world with him, Annie Fauci, Bill Gates, and all these conglomerates in the deep state that have been doing bullshit to our country. Soros, all of them, Letitia James, Alan Braggs, Randy Wills, all of them are in the same basket with the same bullshit. So whether he drink a Red Bull or not, it does not speak for what he has done throughout his whole career to the whole entire world as a whole, even forming a criminal organization called NATO. You know what I'm saying? But Creep Joe Biden, accompanied by his wife, Jill, you know what I'm saying, which she need to go sit down somewhere with her old team, and both of Georgia Democratic Senator John, you know, Ossoff, or whatever his name is, and he looked like Raphael, uh, Raphael, or whatever his name, Warner. You know what I'm saying? Sound like all criminals to me that have been fucking up our country for a very long time. Held a rally at a trendy Pullman Yard faculty at Atlanta's east side before a crowd of about 500 people. Yeah, of course, because anybody giving this nutcase support other than those 500 people is out of their mind. Let's just be honest. You know what I'm saying? And sitting up there making blatant attacks on Trump, you know what I'm saying, when he has never done anything for this country good at all. Him, Bush, Obama, none of them. You know what I'm saying? You're sitting up there following behind these clowns. Nobody wants anything to do with these clowns. You know what I'm saying? And this is why, you know, they're able to flip flop our government or the minds of the people, you know what I'm saying, talking about, you know, the ONC and this and that, you know, Ocasio-Cortez, the RNC, and these different names and all kinds of nutcase ass garbage in our government. You know what I'm saying? We have to start to look at this thing here from a brighter perspective because these individuals have been marinating in our government, even when it comes to Ocasio-Cortez. You know what I mean? She's a fake and a fraud and a part-time broad. Or she has done, you know what I'm saying, even one of the most corruptive districts that she's residing over, you know what I'm saying, and have the nerve to be speaking about anything to do with Donald Trump at all. You know what I'm saying? She needs to clean up her fucking backyard and shut the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? And the bullshit, as we can see, even when we look at the different police departments and what's going on in like Philadelphia and places, Philly and you know all these different places, how they defunding, talking about defunding the police, and the police are now saying that they're not going to be responding and they're going to level down because many of them have quit and many of them are gone. This is bullshit. You know what I'm saying? There should be no way that police officers, you know what I'm saying, in any shape or form, you know what I'm saying, is you know, quitting as a police officer to go do something else instead of protecting our country as a whole. You know what I'm saying? Or protecting the people. You know what I'm saying? When you make this thing unpopular to be a police officer, what is the reason for that? There should be no reason that a police officer should feel that he has to quit his job in order to come to some kind of form. You know what I'm saying? That is ridiculous in itself. So we have to start to look at this thing from a brighter perspective. We cannot let them deteriorate our mind as to what we need in any state as we're looking at this from the perspective. You know what I'm saying? Now, we have to look at that because in itself, there is no way that police officers should be defunding a city, be defunded in a city or quit or anything and leave the citizens up to pure anarchy and chaos, such as we see in the movie Purge. You know what I'm saying? And that become a reality in the world that we're living in today. Even when we look at the Guardian coming in, we see Trump ranks as the worst U.S. president. No, he isn't. No, he isn't. He ranks as the number one president at this time. You know what I'm saying? Talking about the worst president in history. No, creep Joe, and then saying with creep Joe Biden, the 14th great. No, he's not. Creep Joe Biden is the 14th worst tyrant president or anybody in our government for over 75, 40, 50 years of his life in government and have done more garbage and damage to this country than you would believe. Trump is only a 4-year president, you know what I'm saying? And he was a businessman and a real estate mogul, you know what I'm saying? But Creep Joe Biden was none of these things. He didn't even go to the army. He lied about his career in the military. He lied about becoming a lawyer. He lied about every single step of his life. But in the meantime, here's the problem. He's been in our government almost all his life, whether he's a senator, whether he's a congressman, whether he's an assemblyman, whether he's a House Speaker, whatever, and he uses that position just like Hillary Clinton did in the Secretary of State and did bullshit the entire time that caused wars, killing, murder, damage, genocide, all type of nasty Luciferian, mathematical, nasty fucking shit that you can think of, raping little kids, doing every fucking thing that you can think of because they love to attack the children. You see what I'm saying? Grown ass motherfucking people, you know what I'm saying? Fucking around with children. You know what I'm saying? I'm still asking the question that I asked from the very beginning. What the hell is up with them and children? You know what I'm saying? We talking about certain people and certain this on the news, but we have a government loaded with these type of people. Anytime over 200 of them are found with child pornography in their duffel bag or child pornography in their bags in the FBI, 200 officers and all this different type of stuff, I wonder why. Was that a setup or is that true? So we know that Creep Joe Biden is trying to reverse psychology, saying Trump is the worst. No, he's not. Trump is not the worst president that we ever saw. Creep Joe Biden he's the worst president, wannabe president, cheating ass into the office, president that worst we've ever saw. He's the worst senator, the worst congressman. He was garbage all the way through his career, 75 plus years or probably more. You know what I'm saying? Because now he's 80 something years old. So imagine, even as a young man, he was in government doing passing policies and bills and doing all kinds of shit that was fucking up people across the planet from here to Africa and all across the board. You know what I'm saying? Talking about a survey of 154 scholars placed the 45th president behind even historical what calamitous chief executive linking to the Civil War. No, when you mention the Civil War, we know exactly what that is. You know what I'm saying? Because that led to the Ku Klux Klan and all types of rebellion against the very government that was supposed to be established and worked out in its finalization to bring about the nation some understanding and to take care of the business. But they were more or less trying to incorporate all this shit into one place so they could drain the people dry. You know what I'm saying? But Donald Trump finished 45th, you know what I'm saying, and rock bottom. No, you better look at that again. You know what I'm saying? Don't let them believe that Donald Trump is at any rock bottom. Creep Joe Biden is definitely rock bottom because they had to cheat his ass into that seat. And then wants to still say up to this day that they didn't. You know what I'm saying? Yes, you did. You did the same thing with Bush and Gore. You know what I'm saying? The same game was played. You know what I'm saying? But the World Trade Center still got knocked down by that clown, didn't it? You know what I'm saying? So when you say he's at rock bottom, that's bullshit in my book. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to even hear that nonsense from that clown. You know what I'm saying? You can see they talking all that bullshit nonsense y'all talking, but it don't mean much in our book. You know what I'm saying? When we look at the scatters, you know what I'm saying, puts in to Trump disqualification efforts, state Supreme Court returns for an argument. They shouldn't have been in court at all when we look at it, even when it comes to Colorado political, roundup, of news from the third branch. You know what I mean? The U.S. Supreme Court clarified Colorado and other states may not disqualify the president. We spoke on that before, and that should have never come up on the table in the first place at all. You know what I'm saying? So we already heading to a somewhat look like bullshit type president type election where you're still saying that these creeps have any kind of love in our government. You know what I'm saying? We have to stop saying that in more ways than one. We have to stop saying that because if they're not doing the right thing based on anything to do at all, it doesn't make any sense. Even commentary, the commentary about the decision, and it will be a source of scholarship for decades to come. But the court crawl purpose, it's most noble. It's most noble that the Supreme Court, I guess the court ultimate position, states can't disqualify a candidate, and that's the position that it should have taken without even going to court. That should have stand in itself to begin with, not because someone decides, in a state of government that they're going to disqualify a candidate because you choose to do so and think that nobody else have anything to say. You know what I'm saying? But the people has the power in the United States. You know what I'm saying? There should be no way that you bust a bunch of people over here and then you put them in a city that you defund the police and then telling them what time the police is not going to be there and what time, that if you went out and raid and rob and kill and murder because the election didn't go the demon democratic way, you set it off as a purge and also the 5G to weaken the people while they're being attacked. But creep Joe Biden's campaign, he shouldn't have any campaign. He should be kicked out of government and put in jail. Trump praised Hitler disgrace, but Willie unsurprisingly. Yeah, because you have never saw that, but when the Hitler that he's probably talking about is creep Joe Biden itself. While you're trying to swing it and swallow it around, and we spoke on that before. So I don't have time for anybody thinking that bullshit or nonsense that you want to try to put on Trump's talking about Hitler, because when you look at even Hitler in many ways, he damn sure was a puppet, bred to be a puppet. Anytime he was controlled by the Brill. Sidestepping Congress, White House announced Ukraine aid. Now they stepped right past Congress and passed an aid to Ukraine rather than seek out a ceasefire of the war in itself. The White House, and then try to say that if that happens, Putin wins. No, it doesn't happen. What happens is a lot of lives are saved and many people don't get killed by the brutality of you saying you have some kind of word called the power. The White House announced on Tuesday the stopgap $300 million package of vital military aid to Ukraine against Russia, a nuclear nation that can annihilate them and many others in one shot because they can't stop the bomb and from wherever they're shooting it from. And especially if it hits us as well, we will be incinerated instantly. So stop thinking that it's just going to be a little boom, boom, bang, bang. A little boom, boom, bang, bang, But when we look at Ukraine, they established, the Republicans in Congress and admit fear that Russia invasion is gaining ground. You know what I'm saying? Why is Russia invasion gaining any kind of ground when we're talking about nuclear weapons? Like I said before, while you're talking that bullshit you're talking, you know what I'm saying? If shit pop off the wrong way, there will be no election anymore. Trump mentioned that perfectly, and you should have picked up on that, talking about gaining ground. Now we look at the shipment that the first, the shipment, the first in the month from Key's biggest ally, Washington, you know what I'm saying, as well as funding Netanyahu against the Gazan people we call the Palestinians. When we look at Washington, will include anti-aircraft missiles, ammunition, artillery, rounds, and some armored vehicles. You know what I'm saying? Officials said. Listen to what they're giving this idiot you call Zelensky in Ukraine. Ukrainians better think twice and do like the Pope told them to do and come to a ceasefire. You know what I'm saying? And while Americans are sitting up there thinking that just because they may drop a few nuclear weapons over there in Ukraine, that it's not going to destabilize the planet over here where we live at. If you think so, you're an asshole. You know what I'm saying? The announcement, and there's medicine for that. You know what I'm saying? I guess you already got that, didn't you? The announcement came as President Joe Biden hosts Poland's president, you know what I'm saying, deep state, whatever his name is, and Diesel or whatever, Duke or whatever, and the prime minister, you know what I'm saying, Donald Duck, whatever his name is, more like Donald Duck, you know what I'm saying, at the White House, you know what I'm saying, deep staters as well, you know what I'm saying, at the White House to reassure them that the U.S. support for NATO in Ukraine. What support in NATO, a criminal organization, and many of those nations that's in NATO have human rights violations of genocide, and you incorporate all these tyrants into one bunch, including Ukraine in Russia. So you could have your foothold in everybody's fucking country using this NATO bullshit. Nation Alliance Tool Patrol. You know what I'm saying? But today, on the behalf of the president, on the behalf of the creepy fucking Luciferian Baphometical, you know what I'm saying, sex worship of children, you know what I'm saying, and babies, creepy Joe Biden, I am announcing an emergency package of the security assistance and 300 million worth of equipment. 300 million worth of equipment. What happened to the 300 million Americans that could do with some of that money rather than putting it into a group called NATO and Ukraine to bomb and go up against a nuclear nation that can literally annihilate every one of them? So while we see, and then destabilize the planet to a point that all people on planet Earth will literally die. So therefore, life after, or those who go in space or wherever they go, gonna come back after everything clear and call themselves ruling or go somewhere else and never come back. You know what I'm saying? So while we are glorifying this bullshit, we need to run up on these people in Congress and make them understand that you must have a ceasefire in this matter. You know what I'm saying? Why are you talking that bullshit? What if it was the other way around? What if the let's say the Virgin Islands was allowing Russia to put nuclear weapons in the Virgin Islands, which is very close to striking distance off the coast of Florida, you know what I'm saying, to hit Washington, D.C. and the United States? You think America would have allowed that? That's the same scenario that is going on. You have Ukraine in Russian territory, in Russian borderline, talking about Ukraine, and you want to put nuclear weapons in that people's country facing Russia. So you could stalemate Russia and think that that's going to work. What the fuck is Biden thinking about? You know what I'm saying? So your first strike will come from his own land? I don't understand what the fuck is you talking about. And a lot of people need to really consider looking at this situation in a more better light. Why you allowing them to pass $300 million worth of equipment of your money, you know what I'm saying, your taxpayers' money, because Biden broke. Biden is using your money and crooked deals with NATO nations alliance to overthrow, talking about NATO and pumping your money to them. So they're laughing at us, you see, while we sit here and play dumb Americans. You know what I'm saying? Today, on the behalf of the creepy ass North Case bongshead president, you know what I'm saying, they are doing this bullshit. You know what I'm saying? The world is watching. You know, the clock is ticking. And we need to see action as matter of fact, we will see, you know what I'm saying, action as rapidly as possible. No, you don't. What's the rush, motherfucker? You know what I'm saying? Where's the negotiations? Where's the ceasefire? Same as they're doing in Egypt, but they criminally renamed the area that they invaded and take over Israel. You know what I'm saying? Get out of my face. The announcement comes as Republican lawmakers have been blocking the creep request for, listen to it, for $60 million aid package for Ukraine. Now he went down to $60 million. Ukraine shouldn't get any more of our money or any aid coming out of our pocket, our taxpayers' dollars, or anything to do with that. You know what I'm saying? They're wasting your money away, and you are accepting it by saying that creep Joe Biden is gaining momentum. Momentum in what? Killing your fucking ass? Maybe. You know what I'm saying? Talking about 60 million aid packages for creepy Zelensky and Ukraine. You know what I'm saying? When the demon democratical president, wannabe president, with a demon democratical president rival Donald J. Trump, you know what I'm saying, is urging them not to give him a legislative win in an election year. You cannot, because you are not spanking creep Joe Biden for all the years that he have genocide people, along with Bush, as demon Democrats plan out and knock down the World Trade Center to go into Afghanistan and different countries and fuck up these people's lives, and literally have probably even genocide many African people. You know what I'm saying? Depends on the affiliation of blood. You know what I'm saying? U.S. defense officials said they had managed to find, listen to this, to find the $300 million for Ukraine by making savings on recent purchases by the Pentagon. Listen to that. They are exacerbating a nuclear war to cause an apocalypse because their ass is on the line for being caught in the garbage that they are doing, and watchdogs and researchers are now digging in their kunyao. You know what I'm saying? Whereas we used to say, you know what I'm saying? But using that as recent purchase by the Pentagon, you know what I'm saying, in more ways than one, but stress stress the need, you should say, for Congress to pass more aid. They shouldn't pass no aid at all. And I'm not going to agree with that. And any American that agree with that is an asshole to begin with, and there's medicine for that. And either that or you're down with the Luciferian nonsense and you're living the Baphometical, chaotic, suicidal, mind frame life. It is a relatively small package. It's too much, and it shouldn't have to have any package at all. What should be going on is what Donald Trump would have done: negotiate and stop this bullshit altogether. This is why creep Joe Biden had to be cheated into office, same as they did on the re-election of Bush and probably even his first election. You see what I'm saying? They had to cheat them in there. They had to push them in there. They had to make them popular. They had to do some genocidal shit to people, you know, and then turn around and say that they are coming to the rescue and so on. Same as we see with Zelensky and Ukraine and the criminal organization you call NATO, which is Nation Alliance to overthrow the world into a new world order. You know what I'm saying? Old world order, old plan, same bullshit today. You know what I'm saying? We have to look at these things. You know what I'm saying? So when we look at even Ukraine, the minimum of what it needs for a short amount of time, a senior defense official told reporters speaking on the conditions of this anonymity or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But I think that it's bullshit and there's no need to be giving any money to Ukraine in any shape or form for any war against a nuclear nation so he can acquire nuclear nations in NATO and they can put a stalemate on Putin, you know what I'm saying? But they're not putting any stalemate. All they're doing is pushing him and trying to bully him into a position that he shoots off nuclear weapons and we have a holy apocalypse war, then nobody's going to know that creep Joe Biden and the demon Democrats are the ones that have been fucking up our country all these years. You know what I'm saying? This is what they're trying to hide in the bullshit. Same when we look at the Gaza Strip. When you look at what Netanyahu is doing, it's ridiculous.